Hey, my beautiful family and friends, my reflections. It's the 999 portal today. How are we? Hanging in there. I have so much to say about the 999 portal. And so I'm just going to kick it off. Today is the ninth day of the ninth month. And when you add up 2025, the numbers 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5, that equals 9. And so you get 999. And that is the significance of today because 9 is such a magical number. And when it is a triple nine, like it is today, it opens up a portal of endings and new beginnings as well. The old, dusty version, the dirt has to all get cleared out. And so that is something to keep in mind on today. Numerologically, 9 is such a magical number because it's the last single digit number before it becomes double digit numbers, right? The only next number is 0 after 9 in that cycle of single digit numbers. And so 0 is a single digit number, but it follows 9. And so there's a relationship between 9 and 0. And when you're adding the numbers up for numerology purposes, a shortcut is to treat the nines like zeros when you're adding them up, and you don't have to waste the energy of adding 9 to the number. Just remove it from the equation and you can get to that single digit number faster. But that's for my numerology advanced folks out there. Let's look at the 999 energy and how to work with it today. There's a lot of spiritual work that can be done. Okay, so let's get into it. 9 is an ancestral number as well. And so first thing I did was give my ancestor shrine fresh flowers, fresh water, lit a candle, lit an incense. That is basically bringing all 4 elements to the ancestor shrine as a way to revere them. And another way to show reverence is by doing libations. And you start with a cup of water and you say each ancestor's name that you remember or can recall, and you say Ashe, and you pour some water out for each of them. And it can be to water a plant, or it can be just to pour into a bucket. But libations is a traditional African concept that can be worked into your ancestor shrine on a day like today. The properties of salt are going to go a long way today. And so I'm actually going to break down 3 different ways to use salt for the 999 portal. The first one is a floor wash. You want to start at the back of the house and mop with salt water that you've blessed. So you grab a handful of salt, you pray on it and say, you're not ordinary salt crystals, you are magical salt crystals. May you protect and may you cleanse my floor of all toxins and negativity and dirt and old energy, and may you transmute the energy and clear the energy and make it a sanitized floor for walking on, and bless and protect the home and the people who live here. And say Ashe and put it in your mop bucket and add your hot water. Just start at the back and work your way all the way up to the front door. That way you've done the first step to cleanse your space. And now the second step is to cleanse yourself, your spiritual body, because there's so much that we pick up day to day. If we're not taking spiritual baths, that energy can become dark. Your aura can be affected and look dark. It can get murky. And so a portal day is a perfect day to clear that energy. We just had the blood moon on September 7th, and now we're still in the shadow of that. We're still 2 days out from that. And so whenever there's a full moon or an eclipse, you're still in that energy plus or minus 2 days. And so you might be feeling like, super emotional, super tired, super a lot of things. And however you feel today, just honor it. Just know that this is part of the process of the death, the endings, and the rebirth, and the transformation, right? And so when you're cleansing your energy with salt, there's a couple ways that I like to do that. Same thing where you're praying into a handful of salt, and you're going to add it to a bowl with some warm water, and you can sit at your tub with your feet inside of the empty bathtub, and you can dip your hand in and wash your hands in that salt water, and wash your feet in that salt water too. If you don't have a bathtub, you can just pour that bowl over your head, let it pour down from your head to your toes. Just affirm that the water that goes down the drain is never to return, that's the old energy being washed away, and thank the water. And then you are done with your spiritual bath. The saltwater bath is the bare minimum, but you can also add other herbs if you are advanced, like milk to represent purity, and cinnamon to represent sweetness, and bay leaves to represent money and prosperity, and oils that just keep that smell of sweetness on you throughout the day, so that you're being reminded that you had a spiritual bath. And all of these things are symbolic. It's just a symbolic indicator for your mind. Even when I hold this tourmaline crystal, it's like you're using elements of the earth, and the spiritual language is a symbolic language. There are no real words there. It's more about symbols being the words. And so by doing certain things that are the universal spiritual language, you are signaling not just to your subconscious brain, but to the spiritual world, that this is the business that you're working on. And it's all to be done with unconditional love, not fear, not doubt. Just be confident that you are powerful. Your words and your symbols that you use are magical and potent, and you will be able to do that energy work with no problem. These things are very simple and easy to do, and so I know that you can do it. Just take the spookism out of it because it was demonized for a reason, but that's another video. And so this is something that anyone can tap into, and so let today be a day of empowerment for you. Okay, so we talked about ways to cleanse your energy and revere the ancestors. Now let's talk about releasing, because that's the main energy to work with on the 999 portal. I made a list of 9 things that I wanted to release on today, and release them for good. And a way to work with that energy is to reframe each of the things on my list that I'm releasing. I reframe it with positivity, or the silver lining statement, so that it reprograms the brain to stop being conditioned to just look for proof of the same lies that we tell ourselves, or the same conditioning that has been running for years. It's a way to create new neural pathways and use the power of the tongue with affirmations to create a different reality. For instance, the first thing that I'm releasing is feeling minimized by others who only see an old version of me. If I've already done the work to change my mindset and I'm showing up changed, but people are refusing to see the changed version of me for what it is, and they are still holding on to an old, outdated version of me, that used to affect me in a way where it would negatively affect me. But in order for me to leave that behind and release it on today, I will reframe that mindset by saying, I step into my full presence as a creator, as a teacher, and as a light bearer, and I allow myself to be witnessed in my evolution. Making videos like this is allowing those who might have known me before to witness my evolution in real time, because every time when I show up, showing up changed, they can't see that old version anymore. I want to keep going. So, second thing I'm releasing is carrying my family's generational wounds and expectations. This is something that I'm releasing because 9 is a number of completion. And so that era of my life where I was healing my family's generational wounds and expectations, healing from that, that cycle is over. And now it's time for me to experience the sweetness of life. So I will reframe that and say, I honor my lineage, but I walk my own sovereign path. And I am the curse breaker, but also the blessing carrier. I like that. I'm the blessing carrier. This is how I'm going to move forward post this 999 portal. That is number 2. Number 3, I am releasing the cycle of self-doubt when my creativity is questioned or undervalued. I just tried giving away the butterfly paint it yourself kits to celebrate my Shopify store, and I couldn't even give them away. And I really felt like my creativity was undervalued. That will no longer negatively affect me because I'm reframing that by saying my creativity is sacred. My creativity is abundant, and I trust the value of my gifts, and I share them freely. I know I've already seen the value of my paint it yourself kits and how much it has impacted those who it was truly meant for. And so I can release that old attitude that felt undervalued. The fourth thing that I am releasing this portal is feeling like I need approval from family, friends, or strangers before I can shine. And that was a conditioned way of thinking that came from as early as my childhood. I started needing that approval and then getting upset when certain people who I wanted approval from wouldn't give it. And even if others gave it, I would still be like, but they didn't give me approval. That childish, whiny version of me, I am releasing, and I'm putting it on my partner Jide to be the one who does that. That he's the only one who I care if he gives me approval or not, because relationships are all about reparenting each other. Our inner child feels safe with our partner in the relationship, and so that is who becomes your new parent. You can be yourself, even that whiny child version, with your partner, and so it is expected that they will know the right way to interact. If I come up to him and I say, hey, look what I made, isn't this cool, I'm expecting him to pour on that love that I used to get. You're so good, you're so talented, you're so dope. Because I've taught him how to treat me when I recognize that I crave that, what my relatives used to give me, and they've all passed on. And so anyway, a way to reframe that cycle, if you are resonating with that release, is by saying, I shine my light unapologetically. My radiance stirs others to grow, and I don't dim it for comfort. Don't dim your light. I just did a pick a card reading, and one of the piles really extensively went into that. You can check out my other video if you're interested in that. But let's move on. The fifth thing that I'm releasing on this 999 portal today is old money wounds. The fear of not having enough or being judged for how I earn my money. And I had this insecurity for such a long time, and it became a loop where whenever I was around other people who are more well off than me and more successful in their businesses and things like that, that I would feel as if I was ashamed of what I do for a living, or feeling like there's nothing that I can contribute. And there was such a negative feeling that I would get about that. And I've done a lot of healing money wounds. I have a video speaking about my money story, and that was some work that I did on the 888 portal. But for this one, while it's about completion and leaving things behind, why not include those old money wounds today and reframe it by saying, I walk in abundance. Money flows through me as a tool to build community, beauty, and healing. Ashe. And so if you also resonate with the money wound, go ahead and release that tonight. And I'll be leaving all of these things to release and the affirmations to reframe those wounds on my Buy Me a Coffee post. And I will be putting that link in the description so that you can print them out and look at that, say it every day until your mindset changes. You know, they say that it takes 21 days before you're able to start a new habit. And so I recommend doing that for 21 days straight, just reading these affirmations. Let's move on to number 6. I am releasing outdated contracts of over responsibility. Like when I was young and my mom would be at work a lot and I was a latchkey kid and it was me and my younger sister, and I was being the parent because my parents were divorced. And so that is parentification, is the term that I learned about that. And that's when you're not able to really be a kid because you're doing parent stuff or grown up stuff. And it's a lot of responsibility on such a young person. And it leads to people pleasing and over giving. And so if you know what I mean, and a lot of 80s kids, 80s babies know what I'm talking about, 90s kids too. It was just what people did back then, you know? It's like, leave that behind. And so to reframe that, we are going to say, I am free from contracts that drain me. I give from overflow, not depletion. I honor my inner child's needs first. Okay? I like that one because I've been working a lot to heal my inner child, and that is another cycle that is at its completion on today, and I affirm that. All right, so number 7, I'm releasing the belief that my art, music, or words are not work or not enough. And so I am reframing that by saying my creations are worthy. They are divine expressions of source, and they sustain me in every way. And the proof of that affirmation has already been showing me the truth about that. And so if I had any doubt or misunderstanding or lies that I was telling myself before, I am done doing that. And that's why the 999 portal is helping me to see the completion of that cycle where I had that mindset which was not in alignment with my own highest truth. And so let's move on to number 8. I am releasing the fear of being too much when I share my truth in spiritual downloads. I have made this channel exactly what I want it to be. It's not for everyone. Let's say that I am a delicious, juicy peach. The fact is, not everyone likes peaches. Peaches are not for everyone, and neither am I. And so I'm going to reframe that by saying, my voice carries medicine. The right people hear me. The right people find me and are transformed by my openness. That is what I am going to take away, and I'm going to leave that belief that I'm being too much. And so lastly, I am releasing old cycles of emotional exhaustion in relationships when my inner child feels unseen. 2 failed marriages, and the cycle is finally complete. I feel bad for the narcissists on this portal today, because I know that they're really getting it. They're the ones that are stubborn, that don't want to change, that don't want to look at themselves, that don't want to analyze and, do these energy work exercises and experience a different perspective. And so they're the ones that are going to be taken through these endings kicking and screaming, and they're going to be very uncomfortable today. But for me, I am just going to reframe those old cycles of emotional exhaustion, being in relationships when my inner child felt unseen, by saying, I nurture my inner child and I welcome love that meets me with respect, understanding, and joy. And so that is the new cycle that is on the other side of this 999 portal. Like I said, I will be sharing that list in my Buy Me a Coffee post, and you can create your own list of 9 things that you want to release and write affirmations that reframe each of those things that you're releasing. Or you can even get help from ChatGPT. And in my Buy Me a Coffee post, I will be sharing the prompt that you can use and get it to spit out a powerful list of reframed affirmations to everything that you want to release. Tonight is about endings and rebirth. And later this evening, I plan to do a road opening ceremony and also an egg cleansing. Those are more advanced techniques. But even if you don't do those things tonight yourself, you can just repeat after me. The roads are open. The past is complete. And the new chapter begins now. All right, Ashe, that is my good word for today. And may you have a blessed 999 portal this evening. And I will see you on the other side of this portal, completely changed and starting anew. Until next time, peace. Love you guys.